It can feel like everyone else is moving forward, and you're just trying to keep up. You see people making progress, reaching milestones, figuring things out. And no matter how much effort you put in, there's this quiet feeling that you're always late, always catching up, always a few steps behind. And over time, that feeling can start to shape how you see yourself. We'll look at why this feeling is so common, why your brain is especially sensitive to comparisons, and why feeling behind doesn't actually mean you're failing. Once you understand what's happening psychologically, that pressure starts to make a lot more sense. Human brains are built to notice where we stand relative to other people. Thousands of years ago, this helped us survive. Being behind meant fewer resources, less safety, less chance to thrive. So even today, your brain constantly tracks. Am I doing as well as others? Am I falling behind? The problem is that modern life gives you access to everyone's highlight reels. You don't see their doubts, their delays, their private struggles. You only see movement. So your brain starts treating other people's timelines as a measurement of your own worth, even when your path is completely different. On social media, growth looks fast, success looks sudden, change looks immediate. But in reality, most progress is slow and invisible. People spend years figuring things out before anything looks impressive from the outside. But your brain doesn't experience those years. It only sees the final moment. So it starts believing that everyone else is moving faster than you. And when your own growth feels slower, your brain interprets that as falling behind. Not because it's true, but because your perception of time is distorted. Another reason this feeling grows is constant pressure to be productive. There's always something you could be doing, improving learning, optimizing. So even when you're resting, your brain tells you that you should be moving. That creates a permanent sense of delay. Not because you're actually behind, but because the finish line keeps moving. No matter how much you do, there's always more you haven't done yet. And psychologically, that makes it very hard to feel satisfied with progress. Over time, this feeling doesn't stay external. It starts becoming internal. Instead of thinking, I haven't reached that yet, you start thinking, there's something wrong with me. And that belief changes how you approach opportunities. You hesitate more. You doubt yourself more. You question whether you deserve to move forward, which, ironically, can slow you down even further. So the feeling of being behind can actually create the conditions that keep you stuck. Not because you lack ability, but because confidence quietly erodes over time. Here's the part we don't talk about enough. Human lives don't unfold in straight lines. People accelerate in different areas at different times. Some find their direction early, some later. Some have to rebuild more than once. But social comparison hides all of that complexity. It compresses everyone's journey into a single race. And psychologically, that makes natural variation feel like personal failure. But being early or late doesn't mean much when everyone is playing a different game. One of the most helpful shifts is changing what you measure. Instead of asking, how do I compare to others? Try asking, am I moving forward compared to myself 6 months ago? That question works with your brain, not against it. Because your brain can feel progress when the reference point is personal, not social. It turns growth into something you can actually notice, instead of something that always feels out of reach. And that reduces the constant sense of urgency that fuels the feeling of being behind. If you've been carrying this quiet pressure, this sense that you're not where you should be, I want you to know that this feeling is incredibly common, and it doesn't mean you're failing. It means your brain is responding to a world that constantly shows you what you're not yet. Growth doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like staying in the process when you could have given up. So if you're still trying, still adjusting, still learning, that's not falling behind. That's being exactly where growth happens. Everyone's path moves at its own pace, even when it doesn't feel that way from the inside. So try to be patient with yourself when progress feels slow or invisible. It's still progress. Thank you for spending this time with me, and I really appreciate you being here.